Let's see what they can do here as we head into Champion Select for game number 2 between Game Talents and EDG. Already right off the bat, we see Nidalee, Caitlyn, and Karma being the bans coming out from Game Talents. On the side of EDG, they're going to take away the Rise, Kindred, and waiting for their final ban.
Yeah, red side Rise. Vladimir should be banned.
We actually saw a blue side Rise banned by EDG in game number 1. This time opting to do it one more time here, as Vladimir is the third and final ban coming out from EDG.
Now, I would imagine the Rek'Sai is what they look towards. Simply because of what happened to them in game number 1. Don't let him have that again. The Tremor Sense is the most invaluable asset to a team like EDG that we're trying to force objectives.
Well, Rek'Sai is going to be the lock-in coming in for Game Talents. Ushuang, we're using that one on the Rift this time round. Just wait to see what EDG lock in as their next 2 picks.
They just make so much sense. Like, Echo was banned by EDG in game number 1 from Gimgoon. They now need to pick it on their red side first rotation. The Azir was a standout performer. Like, just, yeah. Nice.
Scout gets to play that champion one more time. And, you know, Mouse on Echo, and a lot of questions about this guy. Starting the summer split of the LPL, he's answered all of them, including can he play this champion in matchups that he shouldn't be able to, and he has. Let's see what he can do one more time here. And we'll have to see what Game Talents are going to pick up during their second pick rotation for now.
There you go. That's probably what it's going to be.
Not so much the fact that they're hovering no fears that tells me this, but it's more the fact that immediately when they picked it, you can see the Ignite teleport from the top lane. It's like Gimgoon's going to go, yeah, I'm playing this champion now.
And Victor's still a fine response. It's Republic's most comfortable champion, and he knows the matchup.
And giving him credit, he played it quite nicely that last game. Gimgoon going to be having a repeat performance here on the Fizz. Let's see that one more time.
These teams, they're not swapping what they're hovering. I like it.
No.
They give you time to think about if it's a good idea, and it usually is.
This is what we're going to play. It's like, you know, gentleman's agreement. We'll show you guys our hand, you show us yours, and we, you know, take it to the Rift.
I think perhaps the one adaptation, if they don't go for Braum, would be the Bard. Give them an extra initiation tool. I think Mako's got a fantastic Bard. It actually was unreal. Braum's always going to be very handy, though. An AD carry dependent, with the Ezreal, of course, being there.
Yep.
They could look towards Bard Ezreal.
To be fair to EDG, they're very fond of the Braum pickup.
They are.
They've prioritized it as first pick even during the summer split. We saw that in their last match against Invictus Gaming, taking away on the blue side every time they played there. And they're actually going to lock in Gragas. So Cluelove trying to show Ushuang what he can do on this champion.
Yeah, it's almost a bit of indirect bad-mouthing, isn't it? Beat you on Rek'Sai. You picked Rek'Sai, and you were playing Gragas. I'll beat you on Gragas. No, I like the Gragas pick, honestly. I think it matches the tempo that a Rek'Sai provides. Has that tankiness, whilst also being able to do damage also. So I feel like they're very similar strains of champion. See if Cluelove can do what Wushang did, because he did a lot.
Well, we're going to see on the flip side, Savoki and Pentakill waiting to pick their 2 champions up. We already see the Lucian being picked up there by Pentakill, arguably one of the strongest champions, or 80 carries, I should say, in 6.10. Ezreal still left up and available if Def wants to pick it during their last pick rotation. Savoki was hovering the Tahm Kench for a while. Would have liked to see him go back to that champion, but he's not. Instead, opting to take the Trundle this time round as his support pickup of choice, which means I think we should see Deft on the Ezreal. I don't see him going for anything different here.
Should be Ezreal. He could go Sivir. He's also got the Braum to block most of the Lucian's damage, so as far as laning phase is concerned, whilst the Ezreal is definitely like the #1 option.
Definitely
if they wanted a Sivir to have the Archie, they could look towards that. He's still a phenomenal Sivir.
Well, he's got some time here to pick up and choose what he's going to lock in for the EDG lineup, but so far we can already take a look at Game Talent's team comp. Nothing too much has changed. No Karma this time. They ban it out.
They have the Trundle into the Braum, though, in the bottom lane. I quite like Savoki's Trundle, and Trundle into Braum in general. Remove a lot of tankiness on one of the more tanky champions of that team.
And there's actually the lock-in of the Ezreal coming out for Deft there. So he's going to play this matchup one more time. And EG love this bottom lane. Ezreal, Braum. They're very fond of it. They do a lot of cheesy things when they're on blue side with it, which is including picking up kills at level 1.
Indeed.
They're going to go back into it one more time. Mouse onto Echo. That's going to have to go against Fizz, being played by Gimgoon. One more time, and Cluelove is going to try and show Ushuang what he can do on this Gragas.
Yeah, so we look at GT's finished composition. They have a lot of damage, pretty standard, of course, having the Control Mage mid, Lucian AD carry, and the Assassin threat. with the triple tank type of team comp that they've got up against EDG, which is equally as standard, with a little bit more disengaged, though, as their preference.
Well, we're going to have to see what these two teams can take to the Rift. And what they can do here. We saw last game. Game Talent's good performance. EDG, better performance. I have to think Game 2 might be a similar story.
The battle of the better teams is a nice way to phrase that one.
And it's been a great match to watch so far. We're going to get even more matches between the two teams. We head into game number 2 between Game Talents and EDG in just a second. Ladies and gentlemen, we are on to Summoner's Rift for game number 2 between Game Talents and Edward Gaming. And so far, EDG currently lead this best of 3 series 1-0. As we see the Summoners move out and fan across the Rift, scouting out for any potential cheekiness coming out from either team. So we take a look at the Keystone Masteries. Nothing surprising coming up from the lineup. You know, for a battle we talked about at the start of the LPL. Very common on these top lane champions now.
Yeah, in particular, you would imagine the Fizz and Echo are the two that would go further of battle as we move towards the further patches, perhaps the Aurelias and stuff that we're seeing in the LCS on 6.11 and onwards. We'll start going towards those Keystone Masteries, but as for right now, these are the two primary and definitely popular choices. Gimgoon running the better skin of the two, honestly. We'll probably just win the game now.
Because of the skin?
Yeah, why not?
Come on, Super Galaxy Fizz.
That skin has nothing on this skin.
Really?
He's got a carrot, man.
Oh. What's the Earth skin of Fizz?
Yeah, it's the Fisherman one.
The Fisherman one's the best.
No way.
Why not? It's Earth.
Are you looking at this skin?
Yes. How do carrots hurt people? I don't understand. You're a Fizz.
You know what game we're talking about here.
Yes.
You know you can throw bubbles at people and it hurts them.
Yeah. I mean, Squirtle from Pokemon does it. I assume that it's
yeah, and I still don't understand that one either. So I think the question remains.
Well, we're going to get back into the game here really quickly as Mako being a little bit of a nuisance as EDG are opting to go for a lane swap here, sending Brom and Ezra up towards the top side of the map. Game Talents still keeping the 80 carries down towards the bottom side. Scout already pushing rather aggressively towards Republic this early on into the game.
Yeah, one of the cool things that Azir can always do is just level 1 hard push you and make you try and miss CS. Of course, only forced 1 to be missed, which means it was really well done from Republic, and he's no slouch on that Victor, but definitely a viable idea. It also keeps your mid laner from roaming, gives you control, and lets you roam quicker if you so choose. Having the teleport advantage as well, Republic, means that whilst he's being pushed under the turret, he can leave, but he might miss the farm that Scout is forcing him to deal with.
We'll have to check back in that lane. For now, though, Scout is looking to do what he did in Game 1. Just pick up a major CS lead for himself.
As far as minion stacks goes, this is a little bit weird. They're sharing farm. It was here early, Mouse. It will be a cannon wave, so they'll crash at the same time. I'd actually like to see Clearlove help with this one.
Let's see if he's going to move up there.
That's
For
sloppy.
now, he's taking the Gromp camp away. Gimgoon actually taking a couple of tower shots down this bottom lane. Game Talents are now working towards taking down this bottom lane turret. Yeah, trying to look like a bite these as he was able to do during the early parts of Spring Split.
Yeah, and we're looking at AD carries that are very good at taking them down. Of course, Lucian with the double hit passive, Ezreal with his W, if he levels that one up to empower the rest of his team, which he obviously hasn't, but especially that level 3 mark when we look at the next turrets being taken. A lot of strength for both of them. It should be reasonably evenly timed. We'll see how they actually pull these ones off.
The turret is going to fall down though in favor of EDG. Top lane turret.
So Def
top
could
lane
just
turret.
recall right now unless he wants the gold.
He's staying.
He wants the tier.
Oh.
Yeah.
So splitting up the gold here between the top laners and AD carries.
Yeah, which I would imagine has to be the tier. That's the only reason you would do that. does put Echo into a position where he's only a little bit behind in gold, but it does put him behind in gold. Naturally, when we pan this one out towards the second turrets, you would imagine Echo can pick that one up himself.
Still means that Def can stack up his tier quite nicely here.
It doesn't end, does it, with these junglers?
No, clearly.
Just give him the wolves, man.
He's even going to leave one behind for Ushrang.
That's sending a message. That's like, it's not light or dark clear love, he's like a happy medium.
He's like, I'll give you the best of both worlds.
Now he's here to help clear this wave. That is such a small thing, but look how much that means. The amount of minions that are cleared from Echo in a single Gragas barrel. They're going to double jungle together, maybe. Nah, Mouse will teleport.
No. And
That's cool. I like that. Not many junglers I've seen do that. And like, we have seen Echoes sit there at level 1, just throw out their Time Winder, try and clear waves, and then teleport to help, but Clearlove just like counter jungles and walks up and is like, I'll take 3 of those.
Well, was able to successfully take them. For now, though, things are rather quiet between these two teams. Game Talents and EDG, just going for the lane swap. We're going to see the second iteration of the turret swaps coming in now as Penta
They actually have to leave this wave. The minions won't crash in time.
To the top lane.
Have on with that one. Extra 3 minions taken Gragas barrel.
Unlucky.
Slows them down. Meanwhile,
Speeds them
on
up.
the other side of the map, EDG are still hitting it.
So EDG going to have a little bit of a tempo advantage. We'll be able to take a look at the turret's health quickly. As now game moves up in the top lane. Clearlove actually waiting to see if he can get a gank off towards Republic here. It seems, waiting inside that Raptor camp. This turret will eventually fall down for EDG.
Yeah. And once again, game of inches is the lane swap. It's a tough to appreciate thing that you'll always see.
Yep. You'll be like, oh, not a lane swap again. We thought Dragon stopped this.
I mean, we all think the same thing, right? Like, oh, not another lane swap. But at the end of the day, like, we understand why it happens.
Yep. Most effective way to pick up gold on Summoner's Rift right now.
Bridges early games, gets you towards mid games. Give him something to jump to, yeah.
EDG going to try and start this one off with taking the dragon for themselves. This time around, it's going to be a Cloud Dragon spawning at the start of the game.
Unfortunate. That's doing a bit of damage, actually. Mako had to walk around and help.
Be careful. As both the outer turrets in the top and bottom lanes have fallen, which opens up the map quite a bit here between the two teams. And the Cloud Dragon will fall in favor of Edward Gaming.
Yeah, so I'm a bigger fan of the timing of that one. And that's why if you're the one putting a lane swap into effect on the red side of the map, I like that you can go for the dragon there. If you are to, on the other side, blue team, get the turret and then do dragon just so the enemy team can't, you kind of put yourself into CS discrepancies and it can tend to backfire onto you. And so realistically, as far as decision-making is concerned, I think the Drake was the right one there.
Still good movement coming out from Edward Gaming. Able to stay ahead, or one step ahead, I should say.
You can see still the discrepancy between AD carries remains.
Yep.
There's a lot of difference, and the Lucian's in a comfortable spot on the map, reasonably anyway. Compare that to where Deft is walking, not so comfortable.
Still, you'll be able to catch up eventually. Well, the Dragons will be able to help them if EDG can control them much more. Cloud Dragon, not quite what you're looking for. Currently rather weak in comparison to Mountain.
Did you see what the next one was?
No, I was not able to.
Oh, man.
They moved away.
It did, yeah. They've stopped doing the camera zoom in.
Used to be 100%. Now no more. Come on, Mouse. Get close to the pit. We can see it. Oh, yeah, there it is. Mouse the Dragon.
All right.
Good job, Mouse.
Yeah.
So Mouse the Dragon is going to be the next dragon to spawn here between Game Talents and EDG. Definitely something that EDG will want to try and contest for next time round.
Yeah, so the Cloud Drake was really just a bridging Drake. I thought that was Clearlove for a second. I saw Rex sign. I was like, he's invading again. But he is invading again.
He is.
So let's not act surprised when I thought that.
Ushrang, meanwhile, is looking to try and give the blue buff over towards Republic.
Big stack of minions. Ideally, Game Talents can hold this. We'll see how Edward Gaming reacts when Republic gets spotted, because he is right now.
He's on top of the ward, immediately Arcane Shift coming out from Deft. He's going to get exhausted.
He's dead.
He's going to go down. First blood goes on over towards Savoki.
Yeah, and they even give the Victor the assist, so Game Talents looking good. Once again, a shaky start from EDG has been met and responded to accordingly. That bottom lane putting in work. And here we are. Once again, I'm not going to say that GT have ever performed poorly. Honestly, every time they perform well, it's just EDG were performing better.
Well, now GT are in the lead in terms of gold. They've matched out quite evenly during this lane swap that was initiated by EDG, only losing a Cloud Dragon, which is not that big of a disadvantage.
Yeah, the major advantage is actually Pentakill. And
Yep.
because of that kill, the advantage is larger.
Def now has to walk all the way back towards the top lane, which is being frozen currently
He can't.
by Pentakill.
If he goes top lane, he actually runs the risk of dying again. He's by himself.
Scout actually taking a lot of damage here by Republic. Has to use the soldiers to get out of the Chaos Storm. Republic doing a lot better in this mid lane now. No longer that huge CS deficit that we saw from game 1. Def trying to challenge Ushuang for this jungle camp. In fact, putting a lot of damage down towards the Rek'Sai. Shifts right on top of him. Here comes Savoki. Not quite what you want to be here. Def now has to flash away. That was very, very risky coming up an EG lineup. Might cost him a lot. Here's Kulov though. Knocks them away with the ultimate.
Teleports in.
Coming in. There is the parallel convergence going down. Mouse trying to lock down Ushuang. Is able to do so. Flash forward from Kulov. Not going to quite able to take down the Rek'Sai. As the rest of Game Towers are going to able to run away.
Yeah, Clearlove ulting them away actually cost them potentially more kills. Yes, it was towards Mouse. Wasn't enough as Republic.
That's aggressive coming in from
he's no
Scout there. Knocks Republic away, but now
Republic
Scout
has flash.
has got to run. That laser is going to hit him with the first proc. But yep, like you mentioned, he'll be able to get away from that.
If Republic had ult, he was absolutely dead there.
Def loses a lot of CS though. He's 20 CS behind Pentakill right now. He's already working on this bot lane out of turret, or in a turret, sorry.
Yeah, well, let's just recap how that happened, right? He died. He respawned. He walked top lane. He contested a jungle creep. He almost died again. And then he still hasn't farmed in that whole period of time. So 23 CS starting to add up. Deft is not in the safest position, and it requires Mako's attendance.
He's 800 gold behind right now. So he's trying to farm whatever he possibly can and force Gimgoon to farm this underneath his turret, not freeze it one more time. Good move for them, stopping the freeze.
Yeah, that was actually quite big that they stopped it. They did fight for it as a 4-man and force a teleport, but they absolutely stopped it.
Big part for EDG now is Dragon is going to be respawning in a minute 20, so they had control of the first pit. They can maintain control, of the second Dragon spawn. Should be able to help them out quite significantly.
The mid lane's the only major difference between game 1 and 2. Scout not having as good a time. In fact, he's being out-traded constantly.
Scout was 30 CS ahead of Republic about 15 minutes into the game. Doesn't look like he's going to be on the same track. In fact, he's fully behind.
Yeah, he's 10 down.
15 almost. Close.
Mouse has been spotted.
Wushong's waiting for him. Does get the knock up here. Savoki is there as well. Power Converge is actually coming down. He's going to get the shield here, and here comes Savoki. Teleports actually being put in. EDG need to be careful about this one. They've got members here, though, as here comes Fizz. Puts down the Chum the Waters on top of the tank, though. Mouse taking a lot of damage. He's trying to dash in and out of there. The rest of the Gatel's liners can't in. There goes Savoki. Puts down the ultimate. Mouse has to use his ultimate to get back in. Scout jumps in, but only knocks Wushong backwards. He's going to take a lot of damage for this one. Def picks up the kill. The rest of EDG needed to run those. Def, he's going to take it down. Game Talons find more kills for themselves. They've had a very nice start to this game.
Yeah, game 2 turns around massively into Game Talon's hands. Big pick on the Scout, Deft, and Mouse. And this looked like EDG had the numbers to disengage here. Mouse, I have no idea what that was, but it backfires anyway because he has to pop his ult here to try and get out. Savoki almost actually gets caught in it, but a nice exhaust ensures that he lives, and Scout just missing the mark on a Republic. He was very close to hitting that one.
Yep.
But because only Wushong went in, Gimgoon's confident enough to execute. And they get plenty of kills in their favor. We called it a game of inches during a lane swap. Well, they were inches of getting more than what they got.
Take a look at the damage dealt during that fight. You know, it's a statement when Clearlove does the most out of the rest of your team, including your AP carry, who's second last. Actually falling almost close to what Mako is doing in that fight. Scout, you know, he had a great game 1.
His game 2 is definitely not hitting the mark.
Yeah, not quite just yet.
Still, he is an Azir. He will scale. The gold is not worth noting as a gold lead. It's not exactly a massive thing, but it is in the right place for GT. You have to remember that the victor is the one who is ahead and Azir is the one who is behind. They would be quite content knowing this.
Dragon is up and online, so EDG have forfeited complete control of the pit, not opting to take it as it spawns.
Well, they have their bottom lane top, so I don't think they want to fight it.
Potentially just try and farm up and try and ride out this storm of the early game from Game Talents. But Game Talent's more proactive this time round, catching out EDG quite a fair bit here, especially doing their map movers, and we look great. Pentakill and Savoki coordinating those quite nicely.
Yeah. They've still looked good. I don't think that factor's changed between 1 and 2.
This is a big factor that has changed. Our Scout being really aggressive
He's
against
actually
Republic.
about to die.
He just jumped in really aggressive. There has to flash away to get out of that one. Interesting coming out from Scout after a phenomenal performance at game 1.
Yeah, he dodged the Victor stun by going forward, but you go forward next to a Victor, you're asking to die. And so he's now in a horrendous position, and look at the way the mid lead has changed the pace of this game. Not for the better, if you're an EDG fan.
Quite drastically for EDG. They're still 2,000 gold behind. You did mention, not a massive deficit at the moment, but still a deficit. 60 minutes in the game, every bit of gold counts, and it is growing, like you mentioned. EDG are just forfeiting objectives left, right, and center. They're now down the turrets at Game Talent, so we're 3-2 in terms of turrets taken.
Well, EDG just want to farm. They want to get to their first big items, maybe hit the mid-game stage.
Yep. Even
Deft going towards the Manamune signals that. They just want to keep scaling. Just keep swimming. Clear Love, though, he wants to fight.
He's going to try and look for
He's
it.
got
Might
the
be able to find him. Has the flank. They're going to lock down Savoki. The pillar does come out. Flash coming out of jungle. Gets knocked backwards. That's going to be a pickup coming on over towards Def. Exhausted. That's not going to be enough. Oh, he might actually be able to live for a while. No, he's not. The ultimate, the subject is going to keep him alive. But now, Pentakill going to get tagged there. True Shot Barrage comes out. Not quite enough. Meanwhile, Game Talents, they find a pick on towards Mouse in the bottom lane.
Yeah, so they trade. They still kill Mouse, and they're getting a lot of damage onto that turret. That's a big problem for EDG because Game Talents, they're taking objectives with it, not just kills.
Scout, meanwhile, trying to head back towards the mid lane to stop any more damage being put down towards the mid lane in the turret as Ushuang is now working to try and take down this mounted dragon.
Yeah, once again, we saw this from game number 1. EDG were winning. Game Talents were trading every single time they could. It feels like the shoe's on the other foot in game number 2, however.
Yep.
The trading is only there for EDG when they can. They do have 2 kills now onto Deft. Mako unfortunately got the other. This is how the dive actually breaks out, as Gimgoon basically a one-man army in that respect. He didn't ult, did he? He did ult. Okay, it did nothing. Fizz.
Straight back on towards the Rek'Sai.
Fizz's heal reduction with that ignite. Kind of a big deal. He should have ulted a lot earlier.
Mouse now 0-2. Keeping up on farm, but that's a 2-0-2 Fizz right now for Gimgoon. Looking rather strong. Saving Grace, you can say one more time, is this bottom lane coming out from EDG.
They are the carry of EDG. That goes without saying. Clearlove's still doing his job. He's 0-0-3. Trying to get the team going. But right now, Mouse is farming okay. But if anyone else tries to pressure that lane, a stiff breeze will probably knock him over with the help of Gimgoon.
And we saw earlier the Mountain Dragon did fall and it went on over towards Game Talents. So a huge advantage in comparison to the only Cloud Dragon that's fallen for EDG right now. The next Dragon to spawn is going to be another Cloud Dragon, although, they do stack up and they do give you a little bit of extra movement speed when you have 2 or 3. But not quite a Mountain Dragon. So flash forward coming out of Mako there to try and get away from the knock-up of Ushuang.
Does get away though. Means he wasn't going to get picked out. Republic is scary.
We can see Iceborne Gauntlet almost complete for Deft here, which means he's going to be a little bit further ahead than Pentakill, who only has the Yomas right now.
Yeah. He'll be sitting pretty. But that is the one member of EDG on the pedestal. The rest are lacking a bit. Scout's got a long way to go.
Rift Herald actually going to fall down in favor of Game Talents. It seems Ushuang Savoki tanking this one up, and that's a huge buff to be able to pick up 18 minutes in the game, which means until 38 minutes in, that's going to be lasting on towards Ushuang on this Rek'Sai. He's going to have that extra damage reduction if he's alone, and extra damage as well when he stacks up the charges.
Yeah, absolutely. So another movement for a smaller objective in the Rift Herald. Definitely still means a lot in the end. And honestly, still impressive from Game Talents. EDG are definitely not out of this one. We are still trying to bridge themselves to team fighting. Once Deft gets his next item, once Scout gets, let's say, at least his next item, they will be big. Clearlove's a tank now, effectively. We'll just call him a tank from here on out. It's pretty much a tank.
a brick wall like last
He's
game.
not a brick wall. Bruce Zhang's a brick wall. I just think that the victor is probably going to be the determining factor at the moment. Dependent on the next fight that happens, I think if Game Talents win that next fight, there's a chance they just outright snowball. Because like this top lane is null and void. The teleport's important.
Well, let's see if they can win that next fight. They're still about 3,500 gold ahead of EDG, which is a sizable lead, nonetheless. That's starting to just continue to grow and grow as Baron is actually be up and available in 30 seconds. EDG do love their Baron buff, but they're not quite in a position to contest or take it right now.
Victor's fed.
Whew, 200 farm, he's about 40 CS ahead.
Yeah, but he has a needlessly large rod to what is like not enough on the opposite side.
He's got the Abyssal, the Hex Core slightly upgraded, that needlessly large rod. That's a big victor. True Shot Branch going to be able to donate the red buff, over and over towards Deft.
And I like that Game Talents actually pinged this out. The major weakness that is there for EDG is now their bottom lane. Because it's such a long lane. They can actually pressure the inhibitor if they win a team fight near it. And whilst there's no dragon to take, they can still try and control vision in the area. Blue buff, red buff. Fight for everything. Push EDG into situations they don't want to be in.
Well, they're trying to fight for this red buff. Ushuang's already there. Clear up does get locked down. Here comes Republic. The pillar is going to lock them down nicely. Good ultimate coming from Scout, but he's exhausted and caught. He's going to take it down. Tries to stream a shuffle out of there. Teleports are coming into the back lines. Mouse is going to try and stay alive. Using the ultimate there, but for how long can he live?
They're alive.
Tries to separate the team. Def goes in. Tries to snipe Pentakill. Not going to be able to. Republic now gets
EDG.
jumped on. Def finds it. Now Pentakill comes back into the face looking for it. Gimku finds one kill to clear love. Mako's trying to lock down Pentakill. Scout. He's coming back in. Def finds the kill, gets the triple here as he is able to take down the Fizz, and Pentakill is going to get taken down as well by this Rishima. No, it's not going to be enough. I thought that was going to be enough to take him down. The Def there comes out strong with a triple kill, and EDG find the fight they were looking for.
And they just skirted the back end of that fight so impeccably. They didn't die as the startup. They used summoners to get out alive. Scout barely does live through this. Like, the ultimate was great, but watch the burst. The exhaust timing on a Republic was actually just like pixel perfect. Mouse forced to use his ultimate, forced to use his flash, does get himself out safely. And look at Scout, he's like, I'm out. Like, Scout is so gone, then has to walk back in because they turn it on a dime. Wushang, even with that knockup, man, like, Deft is just sitting unattended in the back line, putting in so much damage. And this was close to a kill as well on the back end of it. And all the blue dots for Scout in the world to pick up in the bottom lane. Things looking up for EDG with this mid-game skirmish.
I honestly thought that True Shot Barrage would have been the ace there for them. But
Look at
that damage!
Oh, dirty.
Deft! This is a meta where AD carries are not meant to do these kind of things.
Deft. Still probably the best AD carry in the LPL. Say what you will against that one. Jake thinks they're the best bottom lane. I think he is at the very least the best AD carry.
Well, he is the definition of Spawn's tier list of people who are allowed to play as well.
Yeah.
Apparently it's Deft's tier
It
list.
is. It basically is, yeah. Just can they perform to a level of depth? I don't think even Uzi's on that list of can play Ezreal. Work that one out. I don't know, man.
Meanwhile, EDG, we're looking to try and scoot around to the bottom lane to pick up Republic, who's backing off at the right timing.
Yeah, so the gold lead has shrunk
Slightly only,
a
though.
little bit closer in favor of EDG. You have to remember they were fighting over a blue buff, and it's EDG's blue buff. So the end result is not an objective secured, but it's kills on the board.
So it was a 3,500 gold deficit for EDG. Currently, they're about 2,000 behind. So, clawing back 1,500 is quite nice. And then looking to try and take down this next Cloud Dragon. They're going to stack up, give them a little bit more movement speed out of combat. Not as important as the Mouth Dragon, but it's good to control them nonetheless. This next dragon to spawn will be another Mountain Dragon.
Smote it at 9 HP. Clear love.
Good job.
9 HP.
Calculated.
Unfortunate, but nonetheless, they still pick it up, so it doesn't matter. It actually doesn't matter. EDG being able to pick that one up actually indicates a lot of momentum seemingly lost by GT. They're ahead in gold. They are. Their mid laner is huge. The CS discrepancy is closed, however. He only has the one kill to his name. And because of his item build, he's probably not spending a lot of money at the moment.
Republic actually trying to fight it out with Mouse here. Chaos Stone as we drop down on top of this Echo. He doesn't really care to be honest.
I was expecting an ult from Mouse.
No, Mouse doesn't really care.
Solid fight.
Just jumps over the wall, goes back to farming, pops his potions, will heal up nicely.
Yep. Has a Spirit Visage, everything's K. Honestly, he's still looking fine. The fact that the Victor is in the bottom lane, though, that's unusual. Remember, he has teleport, so he can rotate.
Yep.
Needs to go back up and get his blue buff, though, like a good mid laner.
You see Pentakill here, he's gone for the Korean Lucian build of the Yomu's Blade Black Cleaver, and he's picked up both of those items. On the flip side, you can see Ezreal already has the Iceborne Gauntlet.
And there it is, actually.
Immune.
So we were talking about only having a needlessly large rod, this Victor. So went back and got the whole Rylai's from the needlessly large rod. And the reason he did that is awkward slot efficiency.
That is a big buy coming out there. That's good chip damage going down onto Savoki. Clearlove tries to dash over to slow down Wushuang, is able to successfully do so.
They have a lot of slows. Boots of Swiftness would be pretty valuable this game.
You can already see that being picked up by the Fizz up in the top lane and by the support of Savoki. Merc Thread's actually coming in for Wushuang here. Doesn't like crowd control very much.
Yeah, it works out. The end result, though, is the... we mentioned momentum briefly. Actually, more important than people would realize as well when it comes to competitive League of Legends. GT don't feel like they're ahead.
No.
EDG feel like they can start pushing back.
GT don't know that they're ahead, especially.
Exactly, because they don't feel like it. They just lost a fight.
Unlike us, they can't see how much gold they have in comparison to EDG, and it's showing here as EDG just trying to brute force down this turret. Scout pokes it out without his sand soldiers.
And the power of Deft. Plain and simple. That man has got his last Whisper and Hex Drinker. He bought 2 strong mid-game items after that team fight. Has his completed Muramana. He is on fire at the moment for EDG.
And this is a big thing for them. EDG were 2 turrets down, now only 1 turret down in comparison to Game Towers, which is that inner turret that was taken down in the bottom lane, which means standing gold is available for EDG if they want to be, or if they can take it down.
Yeah, and we spoke about the last team fight actually dictating if GT win the game or not outright this time around. Now that EDG won that, we're back to square one.
You can already see Rylai's Crystal Scepter has been picked up by the Azir, as well as that Negatron Cloak. So he's still big. Republic, though, and Gimgoon looking for something down the bottom lane here.
Well, that's what we said as well. Like 2 items for the Azir, and he's still strong. He kept the Negatron as well in between, so not taking as much damage from the Fizz and the Victor. It's going to be hard to kill Mouse, even if there's 2 of them there. Still going to take an awful lot of time. And
there's an Echo.
Yeah, exactly. He's an Echo. Don't think they'll actually go for anything like that. Baron and Dragon seem to be the 2 big things, as well as blue buffs and red buffs. EDG and GT love blue buffs.
They certainly do. We saw lots of fighting over them last game. This game, you know, they just control it a little bit better.
They're still fighting for them. That's the only reason EDG got the last fight. There's a blue buff.
But now, though, it's a little bit more quiet than the action we saw previously. Both teams trying to farm it up, try and see where they stand right now.
The map is empty, let's be honest. There is nothing to take besides vision. Both teams will actually just be fighting for vision right now.
You take a look at the items that have been picked up meanwhile. Mouse did pick up his Iceborne Gauntlet. Gimgoon is ahead of him by a single Giant's Belt. So not a huge advantage, just a little bit of extra health. Mid lane is where that big deficit is, with the Hex Core being the main factor.
Might want to fight in this middle lane.
Well, they could go for a death, actually shifting aggressively forward, trying to get some damage down towards the turret. Pillar actually coming out there, bomb for Savoki. Locks down Scout for some time. Republic.
Yeah, he's stalking. He was looking for a flank. They even pinged out their teleport wards sitting in the middle of that lane for the Fizz. Now, 4-1 and 3 is this Fizz at the moment.
Looking to try and take down the turret. Clearlove is there as well. Def takes a laser and a couple of turret shots to the face. Not quite happy with that, but we'll be able to heal up with the little bit of lifesteal he has from the Doran's Blade.
And even just pulling GT around the map is impressive at this stage. Look at Clearlove. That's a red buff.
That is his red buff. Or Def's, sorry.
What's EDG's, yeah.
It's gone. Clearlove has controlled that quite nicely. And you know what? This gold lead is just shrinking and shrinking. EDG, they're catching up. They're only 400 gold behind now.
And remember that poke that Def was just doing once he goes back, gets his next item upgrade, which is, of course, Last Whisper upgrade. We'll have the red buff in his back pocket, so 9% health regeneration per 5 seconds. 9% of max, not current. Which means that sustain, that poke in the middle lane with the Azir and an Ezreal can be quite potent, and you can have a hard time actually pushing them out. We also have a minute till Drake, so
Def just going toe-to-toe. Wushuang there shifts aggressively forward, trying to find that minor mystic shot, but it's a brick wall of a Rek'Sai, not taking any damage just yet. Scout clears out the mid lane, looking to try and move towards the Dragon Pit, which is going to be spawning in 15 seconds.
Just a Raptor, Clear Love. Give him the jungle, mate.
Def actually getting caught out here, takes a lot of damage. Clear Love going to be able to tank it up. Banshee's Veil actually gets propped there by the culling that comes out from Lucian.
Yeah. Brick walls, man. They are, like, they feel quite similar, these teams. The way they draft, the way they want to play. But the big difference right now to me is that Deft exists and PentaQ is not Deft. And that doesn't mean PentaQ is bad, it just means that he's not Deft. That feels like this whole series to me.
And that dragon is going to fall down. So Mountain Dragon does fall in favor of EDG, and the final dragon to spawn is not going to be an elemental. It is the Elder Dragon coming up shortly, and 1,000 gold it is all that stands between Edward Gaming and Game Talents. And there's still a turret in advantage for EDG on the map to take. If they can find that steady gold, they will be able to catch it back up. And that's a blue buff over towards Deft.
Told you, every buff. At least looking at it, they know. EDG knows.
Second blue buff we've seen today, stolen away by an Ezreal's True Shot Barrage.
Feeling good now as well. Mako's caught.
They're looking to try and take down the Braum here. Put a little bit of damage down, but here comes Clear Love. He's found that flank. Only able to slow down the tanky front line. Takes a little bit of damage in return. Wushuang jumps on top of Mouse there. Puts down the Parallel Convergence. Is not going to be able to jump inside of the pit in time. Has to use his ultimate in return. Def now getting over the wall to deal some damage to Wushuang. Scout knocks Savoki into the pit as Mouse jumps over to the wall as well. Clear Love does get taken down though. Pentakill finds the kill. Wushuang though is going to get taken down by Scout. EDG definitely with the health bar advantage as Mouse going to take a lot of damage. Gimgoon falls down. Def he's still alive. He is huge. Gets forward onto Republic. Pentakill's all that remains gets slowed down. One more Mystic Shot is all it's going to be. And another triple kill gets on over towards Def. EDG with a huge team fight one more time. They're not done just yet as they're looking for Savoki, who has to throw down the pillar to stay alive. Ultimate comes down. Here comes Scout, though. He's looking for it. He's trying to slow him down with the Rylai's. Not going to be able to slow him down just enough as another pillar comes out. But EDG still get a huge fight for themselves.
And a big stack of minions to complement them, I believe. No, that's actually dead. They can't push. They will get a lot of damage. They might actually just take... Okay, Azir Ezreal. 2 minions is all it takes for them to take an entire turret. And that was a team fight that was positioned better, not just from Deft. Scout did his part absolutely impeccably, and as a team now, they're winning these fights. The tanks did their job. They tanked it up. Honestly, they're just coming back into this game with immaculate play.
And you know that's 4 turrets to 4 now after that turret falls. We can see the team fight damage dealt there. Deft and Scout just standing above all else. But like I was saying, 4 turrets to 4 now. And EDG have taken back that gold lead. Kills are completely even. They have a little bit more dragons here, 3-1. But that just shows how immaculate this team is at team fighting. EDG know exactly what they want to do when they fight.
They're just so good at League of Legends. I mean, right now, EDG are about to reveal Scout on the bottom side of the map, so they may want to show some caution.
Look at Def's score. He's 8-2-2 on this Ezreal. Almost completing his final item, which should be the Blade of the Ruin King. Could be a Bloodthirster.
Could be Mikiros as well for the Fizz. Oh, you can't QSS it anymore, can you?
I think you can, because it's crap drop. You drop the fish, don't you?
Oh, I don't know.
I'm pretty sure he still dropped the fish with it.
I thought they changed it with Cleanse, but either way, doesn't matter. He might still go for that as his last item. He is very fed Deft.
It certainly is. But now the EDG are looking to try and brute force their way through this mid lane. Right now, Gimgoon is split pushing down the bottom lane.
1-3-1. PentaQ is the problem. He needs to group. And he's currently top lane. That Fizz can afford to do that as Mouse has no TP.
Well, Sun Turret is up for the Azir. This Mouse actually heading back to base. His teleport is not up and online like you mentioned, but will be soon. EDG should be content with that. Hello, Clear Love.
I think Red Buff's up soon or something. Why else would he be there a minute in advance?
And pinging it. Well, there
it is up
the yellow hourglass. So 10 seconds, sorry, till that spawns. It's up. EDG want this.
Shocking revelations. EDG can test a Red Buff again.
Breaking news.
They're just really on point.
Controlling every bit of the map they possibly can.
I mean, the biggest problem we've seen with them so far has been the early game. They keep getting caught out. These lane swaps haven't been going perfectly for them. Advantages have been getting gained by the opposite team.
And it's Victor.
GT, man.
Victor's going to be able to clear out that Sun turret, but not going to be able to help out by pushing out the mid lane. Edward Gaming still have a nice goal lead from themselves with what was Game Talent's decisive early game.
Well, they still have a 3-2 Victor. He's going to be doing a lot of damage.
He sure is.
Plenty of farm, plenty of items. Same thing with the Lucian.
He's got the Void Staff as well, so he can kind of break through Mouse and Clearlove now, who don't have any kills. Lots of assists to the name, though. And this is going to be a very interesting matchup that we're going to see take place shortly. 2,000 gold lead now for EDG. They've been able to grow that naturally since their last team fight.
Yeah, and the next fight, you would assume is for the Baron. I would actually say is going to be for the Dragon. Specifically because EDG have 3 of them.
And it's up in a minute as well.
And how quickly they'd take a Baron if they have the Dragon buff. Be insane.
Mako and Deft actually waiting around the Baron pit here. It's top of a pink ward.
I guess it depends on where the focus lies, right? Like, you can only place vision in so many areas on the map. All of the pinks, all of the wards right now from GT are at the Dragon. They've basically said, like, we will outright just defend you from taking this. That's a lot of attention actually gained there.
Wolf Spirit actually just showed that there's a second member of Game Talents down at the bottom side of the map. So, EDG know that someone is there. They don't quite know who. Wasn't able to spot it out. It looked like they were actually going to go.
Savoki's on the wrong side of the map.
Looked like they were going to go for the Baron attempt, but yeah, he is on the wrong side. The pillar able to slow them down enough to stop them from advancing. Mako goes aggressively forward, tries to find a Q, doesn't connect with anyone. Savoki almost gets caught out there.
And the dance continues. Clearlove's in a great position to flank.
He wants it.
They don't know he's there. He's on a pink ward. If they walk into his hands,
they're going to find him. Savoki gets jumped on, takes a little bit of damage from Clearlove. In fact, lots of damage to Def. Arcane shifts aggressively forward. Mouse now coming in. Here comes the teleport from Gimgoon as well. Just going to disengage, but a flash burn from the Trundle, and Savoki is low. He has to go back to base. They're already pinging for the Baron. They've got vision here, though. It's going to try and be sneaky.
Needs to be cleared. And they just straight started. That's going to be taken down really quickly if GT don't respond to this one. Look at it getting chunked out already.
It's already at half health. It's just going to get lower and
so
lower.
low.
Ushuang's going to have to do his best to get in there, but he can't. Mouse now with the Baron buff trying to jump on top of Republic. Ushuang has been locked out. Going to get jumped on over the pit by Def.
The Victor
and
ult.
Scout. Victor ult does a lot of damage, but it's not quite going to be enough. It's Mako is the one taking the brunt of that. Republic has to flash through the wall. Clearlove now going to deal with the front line as Def shifts on forward, flashes forward with the body slam from Clearlove. They're looking to try and clean up this Game Talents lineup. Goon is going to get locked down in the parallel convergence. Playful tricks that only keeps him alive for so long. And Def has made his way to the front of his team, slowing down members. They find 2 picks and the Baron buff, now looking towards Elder Dragon.
And you never bait Baron with EDG. They love to take it, and they will not hesitate to actually kick it off. Win the team fight, take down some members of the opposition side, straight to the Elder Dragon. They do need to utilize this immediately, however.
Teleport is actually coming in. Republic wants to try and see what he can do. He can stop them. Def actually slows him down. Clearlove looking like he wants to try and do something. Not going to be able to do just that. But that's a 6,000 gold lead for EDG. Baron and Elder Dragon. They are in the driver's seat now.
Yeah, they absolutely are. Once they get a recall in, again, the duration of the Elder Dragon is not too long. They have the Baron empowered recall and buff, however, so straight down mid lane. That is the best option that they probably have. And utilizing Mouse in that top lane. He'll need to rotate soon, though, given that he doesn't have teleport. We'll see how this one pans out, but naturally EDG in a point of power. See if they can make it work.
You see the mountain that was grown by Game Talents. Nice, nice peak, and then drops down slowly, and then EDG just take over like, yep, this is our game now.
Ayers rock. Giant rock in a desert.
Game Talents, their gold lead has just been robbed by EDG.
Connect the dot paintings were actually great.
You're right, Rusty.
Yeah.
I don't know where you're trying to take this one, but for now, EDG, they're looking to try and take down this inhibitor turret, as that's going to fall down. Elder Dragon doesn't play around. Gets melted with the 4-man strong EDG, and the inhibitor falls down shortly after. You can already see Mouse. He's working towards the top lane, trying to take down the top lane inner turret. That will fall down shortly as the rest of EDG move up towards that lane too. Cloud Dragon in full effect, making them run fast.
Yeah, very fast movement at the moment. This will definitely be another turret taken, and just a seamlessly easy inhibitor. They just walk in and take it. Remember how strong they are at the moment with the Elder Dragon buff.
Parallel convergence actually be thrown down there. They're going to try and see what they can do to take down this inhibitor turret. Ushuang takes a lot of damage from the Sand Soldiers. Baroned up minions, chipping away at this turret.
GT just have to draw the line. Sooner or later, they'll have to fight. They ideally want to wait for the Elder Dragon buff to run off, which I believe is right now. If they look for a fight, now's the best time.
Well, let's see if they can find that fight itself as this turret getting taken down really low already. EDG looking to take it, and they will as Def shifts aggressively forward, puts down the Blade of the Ruin King to slow down Ultron even more. That inhibitor is going to get taken down, and they will be able to take it for free this
Bottom's
EDG.
a big stack.
They find no resistance coming out from Game Talents. They find 2 inhibitors and head straight back to base.
Yeah, and honestly, it's timed perfectly. They have to defend bottom lane all the same. There's nothing left to take on the map besides that bottom lane, however, so they'll work towards it. Transition their way through probably the enemy red buff, because that would just make sense at the end. Game Talents, they just can't pull the trigger on the fight. They just don't know where they can do it, when they can do it, or how.
I think that time might have,
Okay, Pentacu's about to run into some trouble if he wants that red buff.
he should know better.
He does now.
Pink Ward is there, going to spot them out. Have to kill the red buff first, right in plain sight. Tef picks up another one for himself.
The last remaining turrets standing in the bottom lane are going to be the point of focus. Should be an easy pickup on at least this one. The next one, if Game Talents don't defend, I don't know where they do.
EDG are 8,000 gold ahead. They're going to be able to just storm through this next turret. And like you mentioned, Game Talents, they need to put up a fight somewhere. It might have been too little too late already. They might have let EDG get back into this game a little bit too far than they would like.
They gave them 2 inhibitors, man.
They've got to try something here. EDG just going to take them out. Def takes a culling to the face, puts a lot of damage out. Ultron actually went aggressively forward. Good ultimate from Scout, separates the front lines. Club taking a lot of damage in return. This is the fight the Game Tells were trying to put up, but Ultron's already down. Gib goes into the back lines on top of Scout, not dealing enough damage though. It's Mouse now, jumping on forward. Def has been left untouched. He's dealing lots of damage, but so is Pentacude. It's a back and forth fight, but GT have already lost their jungler. Club still up on the line.
Def.
That's aggressive from Def. He finds 2 more kills. That's another. And Pentacude, he's the last man left alive here. Gets taken down. Guardian Angel for Fizz will keep him alive, but it's not enough. EDG, they found their way into game number 2. And a really, really big win for them here against Game Talents.
And Gimgoon may live, but the base will not.
Mako doesn't want that to happen.
EDG, though, what a fantastic performance in game number 1 and 2 combined. And as far as the best of 3 performance is concerned, they stamped their foot down on Game Talents to say this was not a top-of-the-table clash. This is one against the rest.
This is still a beautiful series to watch between Game Talents and Edward Gaming. Game Talents put up a great fight. Game 2, they put up a good fight very early on to start with. Game 1, though, they did all the right things, just EDG played so much better.
And it's all behind the alpaca man himself, Def. Honestly, just a standout performance. Clearlove had a ridiculous game 1, but the bottom lane of EDG holds true. Got themselves a pretty simple 2-0. Once again, you have to commend it. I just think that's so impressive that this team can, against Game Talents, who, I have to endlessly commend themselves. They looked great. They actually looked great.
They certainly did.
EDG just looked better.
They sure did. EDG played out of their minds, you could say, in that series, especially game 2. They were, 4,000 gold behind and able to take objective after objective. It was all off the back of that one blue buff fight that looked like it was going sour for EDG. Still, Game Talents looked great fighting there, but EDG pulled something out of their hat. Def just came online, one of the best AD carries in the league right now, and was able to just go absolutely massive in that one fight.
Yeah, I don't think it came down to bad decisions. I think that's the big standout. Redeeming feature for GT is they made the right decisions. They knew what they wanted to do and how they wanted to win the game when they were even or ahead. They struggled when behind, but EDG kind of met them. They drew a line and said, we've actually got our items now. I think we can fight you now. And they just showed that they're a better team-fighting team. And that's kind of just what you expect when EDG have been together for this long. They are just a fantastic team. The core of that team has remained with Deft, Mako, and Clearlove. And they just come up massive.
Once again, good performance from Mouse one more time. Scout slumped a little bit at the start of the game, but pulled back massively. We saw that blue buff fight. He got chunked out, came back into the fight, made a huge impact. But it was massive for EDG. As we're going to take a look at the results that took place today. Snake Esports with their newfound jungler Tank finding form in the mid lane, were able to pick up a 2-0 victory against Invictus Gaming. In what was a very quick and decisive match from the Snake that have found form coming into week number 3 of the LPL. As Newbie, they were able to pick up a 2-1 victory against Saint, which was a very back and forth game that Newbie, I don't think, quite deserved to win there.
That was a rough game, to say the least. Newbie, they definitely got taken to the absolute limits of their capabilities by Saint. And Saints still showing that they can improve. They absolutely proved that their ceiling is quite high.
Yep.
The end result still as expected. Newbie won.
And we see the final game of tonight was EDG taking on Game Talents here. And it was a 2-0 victory for EDG, which was very clinical, decisive, and they put their foot down. But Game Talents, they fought with valor, you could say. They played phenomenal in those 2 games, just not enough to take down these Giants.
Yeah, they gave their all, but at the end of the day, the experience just came up and ended up being the better team. That's just the way that it worked, as we're now going to take a look at the current standings.
And that's for Group A as well, as EDG sit on top with 5 wins and not a single loss. Game Talents and Snake both sit with 3 wins and 2 losses, whereas Invictus Gaming is tied up with Newbie with 2 wins and 3 losses. Saints, unfortunately, yet to pick up a win in this group.
Yeah, a very competitive group. I think it's safe to say EDG proving that they are the best team in this, but Snake is absolutely making a surge as we moved into our 3rd week, and we have seen the rise of SOFM in his star-studded team.
And tomorrow we're going to have a look at more grippy matches as Team WE takes on Vici Gaming, RNG trying to take on newcomers IMA, and the bottom table clash for the 2 teams that have not picked up a victory between LGD and LGD Gaming and OMG to round out the games tomorrow. That's some pretty crazy matches from Group B here. More matches trying to see where people stand in week number 3 of the LPL.
Absolutely, and you know what? LGD and OMG, one of them has to win. We're going to have a victory for one of them. But no, it's going to be pretty cool. I'm actually looking forward to RNG and IMA personally, because RNG aggressive, IMA explosive, and you kind of put those 2 together and it's just going to be a crazy best-of series.
And that's another story of more teams here in the summer split of the LPL who have been performing phenomenally. New teams like IMA had a really good start to the split. A lot of people wrote them up like, yeah, they're just EDE, you know, LSPL team joining the team now.
I think the teams, people that wrote them off didn't actually research what EDE meant. And that's Edward Gaming's sister team that has really good players on it. So I think it's safe to say that they are performing very well. But what I like about IMA is that they're basically taking the reins of what Snake did when they came in from the LSPL, what QG did when they came in from the LSPL. IMA is still showing that they're a strong team, and as far as a promotion team goes, they've got what it takes.
It's just doing, you know, that's not the only new team that we have here that's performing phenomenally. Game Talents as well, formerly EPA, formerly Masters 3, doing well to it, coming into the LPL summer split. You know, the hybrid of these 2 teams, they showed that against EDG tonight, and this is something I really want to touch on because we're going to see the highlights of that game very short, and we're going to see the MVP too. Game Talents, every time they go into a match, it feels like we're saying this is their test. Like, they had a phenomenal first 3 games, but these against, you know, teams that are slumping, teams that are low on the table. But every time they go up against a team like EDG or Invictus Gaming, this is their test. And I think they haven't really failed that test despite dropping those 2 games. They performed really well. They just have a little bit more to clean up, it feels.
They absolutely failed the test against Invictus Gaming, but that's a different story, right? They lost, and then they came back into this set, and they looked a lot better. Even though they lost this particular game, they looked leaps and bounds above what we have seen from them.
Well, it gives us some time to take a look at the MVP for that 3rd and final match of tonight. It's going to go over to none other than Deft. I think he leads the MVP score
Just take a second. Everyone just hold up. 50% damage share. 50% damage share. I don't think I've ever seen that in my life.
Half of his team's damage.
There is 5 people on a team. Fish, 5.
Not 49.9.
He actually did 50% of his team's damage. Like, he actually did half of it. Like, what? Like, who does that?
It was aggressive. He did something that no one else could. I mean, we saw some crazy...
That's got to be a record.
Has to be.
I've never in my life... 50%.
Well, there's a reason why he got MVP for that game. There's a reason why he's gotten it 4 times as well for EDG. He had a phenomenal performance, not only in Game 1, not only in Game 2, but this entire split of the LPL. Deft has been going off, and it's a wonder why teams still give him this Ezreal pick, because he's been terrorizing people with it.
Even the last split of the LPL, man, like Deft has been performing well. It's just the rest of the team didn't really get around him. And I mean, he's come into his own definitely. And in a meta that wants facilitative AD carries, he's still showing that he can actually carry, not just be a facilitator, right? Very impressive stuff.
And he's still, you know, one of the core members of EDG. You have Deft, Maker, and then you have Clearlove as well. Those core members, we've talked about it time and time again, the step up from the top lane and the mid laners, Scout and Mouse been playing well. Are we going to see the return of Korra and Pawn at all? Because it seems like Scout and Mouse are just doing their jobs completely fine right now.
I know that like Pawn will probably come back if his injuries permit. I don't know about Koro, because definitely Mouse is not a signature top lane player. He's come from support. I think he played a bit of mid, and now he's found a home in the top lane. I'm not sure if it's a home or like an interim kind of stay, given that Koro's meant to be the main top laner. And I would like to see Koro come back personally. He's got a lot more of a ceiling, I would say, for top lane performance. He's just been slumping at the moment. So I think what they should do is keep it how it is and essentially do what they did with Uzi for QG, is don't put him in until you know it's going to be better.
Well, we'll have to see if they do bring him back into the roster. You know, Corrin still sitting on the bench, still very famous players, very good players as well for the EDG lineup. I want to look at their opponents for their game talents. We gave them a lot of praise despite dropping their games here. And you mentioned they cleaned up a lot after the defeat against Invictus Gaming. What else do they need to do here? Because obviously for them, they don't want to just be the second place team in this group. They want to be the victors. They want to try and take down EDG next time they play against them. What needs to change from game talents to be that great team?
I mean, I think if I was GT's coach, I'd probably tell them to work towards win conditions more heavily. They have a great early game. They know how to dive. They make good decisions. But I don't think they understand how to outright win the mid game.
Well, that's all from us here tonight. On behalf of Atlas, Frostcode, Rusty, and myself, thank you guys so much for watching. We still have more LPL action tomorrow, so do stay tuned for that. But thank you so much for watching and have a great night.